The morning sky above was a turbulent wash of gray as Aurora Quinn trudged into the esteemed Ballet Academy, her clothes soaked through from the relentless rain. Water dripped from her hair, hanging damply around her face, and her shoes squelched gently across the polished marble floor, each step leaving faint, apologetic prints. Her raincoat, hurriedly buttoned, and the practical dancewear beneath clung to her like a second skin, hinting at the hastiness of her arrival. Amidst the elegance of the academy, with its pristine mirrors and polished bars stretching the length of the room, Aurora's appearance drew subtle glances. The young dancers, stretching gracefully and preparing for the day, murmured amongst themselves, their whispers just audible over the soft piano notes echoing from the practice room. Her arrival did not go unnoticed by Genevieve Dupont, the Academy's imperious ballet director, known for her no-nonsense demeanor and unyielding standards. With sharp eyes assessing every flaw, Genevieve's gaze fell upon Aurora, a disheveled anomaly in the otherwise immaculate space. "Oh, you there," Genevieve called out sharply, her voice slicing through the gentle chatter. The room hushed, focus turning to Aurora, whose muddy appearance seemed out of place in this world of grace and precision. "Have you no sense of propriety? Fetch a mop and clean this mess before the session begins." Aurora looked up, her expression unperturbed, hiding any flicker of annoyance or surprise. Her voice was steady and unreadable as she replied, "Of course, I'll handle it right away." There was no hint of defiance in her tone, just an enigmatic calmness that hinted she was far more than she appeared. With that, she turned, leaving the curious eyes and quiet judgment behind as she walked purposefully down the hallway. Aurora walked down the hall with graceful poise, each step becoming lighter as she distanced herself from Genevieve's scorn and the dancers' whispered speculations. The building's opulence was unmistakable, marble floors gleamed under bright chandeliers, and framed portraits of past successes lined the walls, depicting generations of dancers and directors who had walked these halls. The air was quiet, a stark contrast to the buzz of the rehearsal studio. As Aurora reached the administrative corridor, she glanced once over her shoulder, ensuring her departure from the studio floor hadn't aroused any unwanted pursuit. Yet, she remained unnoticed, her exit as seamless as her gait. A gentle but firm knock on the HR office door was met with an immediate response. "Come in," a warm voice encouraged from within. Aurora entered to meet Gareth Burns, the Academy's senior ballet administrator. With his welcoming smile and outstretched hand, Gareth cut a figure of genuine excitement and anticipation. "Aurora, it's splendid to finally have you here," he declared, standing to greet her. "Thank you, Gareth," replied Aurora, her own smile lighting up her face, sending any remnants of the morning's unwelcome reception into oblivion. "Please, take a seat. I trust your journey wasn't too unpleasant?" Gareth inquired, gesturing to the plush chairs beside his desk. Aurora waved it off lightly, settling into her chair. "A bit wet, perhaps, but otherwise uneventful. It's good to be here." Gareth laughed heartily. "The weather chose the wrong day to welcome you. But nonetheless, we're grateful to have you finally take the reins as our new artistic director. Our dancers are in for quite the transformative experience." Aurora's title, a prestigious accolade recognized across the international ballet community, was accompanied by an impressive repertoire. She was renowned not only as a masterful choreographer but also as a dynamic visionary who had led Europe's prestigious ensembles. Her career was a testament to her dedication and artistic prowess, earning her the respect and admiration of those who had danced beneath her guidance. As they exchanged pleasantries, Gareth outlined Aurora's itinerary for the week. An integral part of her integration would be the surprise announcement of her new position to the entire Academy, a reveal that Gareth anticipated with great excitement. Meanwhile, across the building, Genevieve remained in her element. In her arrogance, she continued boasting to the dancers and staff, taking disproportionate delight in retelling how she had put the new hire back in her place. Her words spiraled through the studio, feeding the curious buzz around Aurora. It was 9:45 when the loudspeakers crackled to life, announcing the assembly in the grand rehearsal hall. As the dancers filed in, anticipation crackled in the air, though few knew the exact reason for the gathering. Aurora and Gareth stood just outside the grand rehearsal hall's heavy doors. Aurora, now slightly more composed after drying off and adjusting her attire, let out a thoughtful breath, the weight of the upcoming introduction present but not oppressive. "Ready?" Gareth asked, his tone supportive yet reassuring. Aurora nodded, her resolve firm. "More than ready." The double doors swung open, the murmur of conversations amongst the staff and dancers filling the spacious auditorium. Aurora and Gareth walked in, the room's attention shifting towards them instinctively. Genevieve, perched at the head of the assembly, a self-appointed position, glanced with a mix of idle curiosity and an oblivious confidence in her assumptions. Beneath her watchful eyes, Aurora and Gareth reached the platform, the centerpiece for the meeting set for announcements. Stepping forward, Gareth addressed the room as silence fell. "Thank you all for gathering on such short notice. I'm pleased to share news that marks an exciting new chapter for our academy." His voice carried a palpable enthusiasm that quickly swept through the audience. Genevieve listened with interest, her previous conversation about to take an unexpected turn. Gareth continued, "It's with great pride and honor that I introduce Aurora Quinn as our new artistic director." The revelation echoed through the hall, eyes widening across the faces of staff members and dancers alike. Whispers of disbelief swept through the seats, heads turning back to Genevieve, whose composure cracked for a moment, her surprise a fleeting but revealing expression. She blinked, silence catching in her throat as the gravity of her earlier folly came crashing down. Aurora offered a gracious smile, stepping forward to address the assembly as Gareth stepped aside. The hall's atmosphere, charged with an undercurrent of shock and anticipation, lay before her. "Thank you, Gareth," Aurora began, her voice calm yet resonant. "I'm deeply honored to join this esteemed institution and work alongside such an incredible community of artists. Dance, in all its forms, thrives on passion, dedication, and a shared pursuit of artistic expression. Here, I see potential for greatness. Together, we will reach extraordinary heights." Her words reverberated through the room, grounding her presence with genuine sincerity. Confidence flowed easily through her speech, addressing the unspoken curiosity and speculation in the room. Aurora's entrance at the academy may have been drenched and unassuming, but now, her authority was unmistakably clear. The transition from an anonymous entity to a revered leader settled in the hearts of every individual present, transforming the collective perception around her. For Genevieve, the objection stilled in her throat, the realization and consequence of her earlier dismissiveness dawning upon her fully. She sat, tight-lipped, grappling with her inner turmoil and the need to reassess her position. As Aurora concluded her address, the air in the room felt different, a mingling of respect, admiration, and an earnest readiness to work together under her leadership. The academy was poised for change, and Aurora, with her understated introduction, had set the course. She turned, with graceful certainty, towards Gareth as the assembly commenced, her position now solidified not by decree but by the power of presence and undeniable expertise. Through the hall's grand arches, Aurora had stepped boldly, the storm behind her, and a symphony of potential ahead. As the assembly settled back into the rhythm of daily routines, the studio corridor buzzed with subtle tension, the kind that hinted at an undercurrent of metamorphosis. Conversations now bore a different tone, one of curiosity laced with respect for the newly appointed artistic director. As Aurora had gracefully addressed the room, each face found an anchor in her confidence and passion, transforming skepticism into belief in her vision. Back at the rehearsal studio, Genevieve sat stiffly, her earlier bravado rapidly deflating as the news spread across the corridors and between hushed conversations. Questions spiraled alongside gossip. Who was this Aurora Quinn really, and how had she arrived unannounced to claim such a significant role? Each whispered speculation served as a fellow thread of the web that tightened around Genevieve's previous demeanor. Shortly after the assembly, Gareth approached Genevieve, inviting her for a private conversation. The stroll to the office was silent but charged, the echoes of their footsteps marking Genevieve's rushed introspections as she reflected on the morning's interaction with Aurora. Inside the office, Gareth gestured for Genevieve to sit, his demeanor friendly yet firm. As the door closed, it was a symbolic step towards addressing the elephant in the room. "Genevieve, we've known each other a long time," Gareth began, choosing his words diplomatically. "As you know, changes are sometimes abrupt, but Aurora's appointment is one we've anticipated with great excitement." Genevieve nodded, her earlier confidence replaced by a wary attentiveness. "I understand, Gareth. It's just that I wasn't aware of her arrival." Gareth maintained his composed stance. "Communication will improve, I assure you. However, Aurora is the artistic director now. It's vital that we support her in all respects." With a gentle pause, he continued, "Let's not have a repeat of earlier, shall we? Showing respect regardless of appearance or assumptions is critical, yes?" Genevieve's cheeks flushed with color at the subtle reminder of her earlier mistake. "Absolutely. I'll make sure Aurora finds a collaborative partner in me," she replied, a genuine commitment beneath her words. Their conversation wrapped with a mutual understanding, leaving Genevieve to reflect further. Meanwhile, Gareth returned to the rehearsal hall, his confidence in Aurora as firm as ever. The scheduled company meeting later was a gathering of over 60 dancers, instructors, and administrators, all seated within the hall's expansive studio. Layers of anticipation lined the air, now mixed with palpable respect and focused curiosity. Aurora stood front and center, presenting not just an insight into the artistic journey ahead, but also previewing her ethos, a mixture of classical discipline combined with contemporary innovation. She spoke with clarity and assurance, each gesture infused with passion for the arts and empathy for the artists she would guide. "In transforming here, we will blend tradition and imagination to kindle a new era of ballet," Aurora explained, her vision expansive yet rooted in the institution's historic prestige. "Let's embrace versatility, take risks, and innovate without losing the essence of what makes us true artists." The room hung on to her words, inspired by her contagious enthusiasm. As Aurora spoke, mentions of her past endeavors added depth to her credibility, transforming a European ballet troupe into a sought-after name, choreographing award-winning showcases, and nurturing countless upcoming dancers who had since blossomed under her tutelage. Aurora's approach was not just a change, it was an invitation to reimagine dance itself, a powerful and compelling proposition duly received with nods and signs of affirmation throughout the hall. At one point, as the group was dismissed to begin their afternoon session under Aurora's observing eye, Genevieve found herself alone beside the piano. Her earlier apprehension had shifted, threading into a texture of restrained introspection. Realities met realizations as she faced Aurora from across the hall. The subtle exchanges that flickered between them were unspoken but profound, a mutual acknowledgement of what lay ahead. Genevieve approached Aurora hesitantly but with intent, exchanging formalities with deliberate care. "Aurora," she began, careful in her approach, "I must apologize for my behavior earlier." Aurora offered a small, warm nod, her grace intact. "Thank you, Genevieve. It's been a transition, I know, and I'm committed to making it a smooth one for us all." Genevieve appreciated Aurora's poise, recognizing the sincerity threading through her tone. "I look forward to what's to come," Genevieve added with humility, aware that the turbulent morning had paved a path for newfound clarity and professional courtesy. With the session slated to progress, dancers mingled around Aurora, the newly adjusted space resuming its hum, different yet infused with anticipation and renewed drive. Aurora, wearing her cloak of confident assurance, navigated through the floor, engaging with dancers and sharing insights that stretched beyond mere instructions. Her presence, though unassuming initially, now resonated throughout the grand corridors with an authority that both inspired and earned admiration. Genevieve, meanwhile, observed from a reflective distance, contemplating her role in this evolving era of creativity and leadership, finding herself unexpectedly hopeful for the possibilities ahead. Thus, the foundations of this storied academy had begun to evolve, sculpted by the intricate ballet of change and acceptance, weaving Aurora's guidance into a legacy poised to reach new pinnacles of excellence. The evening's rehearsals unfolded with eagerness, as thought-provoking a new pulse of ambition and aesthetic vision that Aurora embodied so fully. As the day began to wind down, the Academy, once again united in purpose, stood poised for this fresh chapter, embracing the shifts with courage and looking ahead to the creative renaissance she promised and now led. Aurora Quinn stood at the helm of her new domain in the elegant, sprawling Ballet Academy, the energy in the rehearsal hall abuzz with anticipation and curiosity following her well-received introduction. Her audience of dancers, some veterans skilled in their grace and others fresh, still finding their footing, all turned towards her with expressions of expectation and newfound respect. Against the backdrop of these historic walls adorned with memories of past triumphs, Aurora exuded an air of calm authority and a deeply ingrained passion for the art. Her reputation had preceded her, but observing the dancers, she could sense the vibrant undercurrent of creativity waiting to be harnessed and unleashed. As the day transitioned from morning resolve into an afternoon of focused endeavor, Aurora found herself administering more than just artistic guidance. Her vision extended beyond the steps and scores, drawing forth not only the talents she had witnessed but also instilling a shared sense of purpose and identity among the company. A pivotal turning point for the Academy was at hand, and Aurora intended to catalyze it by diving headfirst into transforming both the mindset and execution of those under her wing. Watching the dancers follow her lead, each repetition of movements finely tuning their craft, Aurora's thoughts briefly drifted towards her past. She recalled her time leading a distinguished European troupe, where her artistic prowess had turned an understated company into a formidable powerhouse. Her innovative choreography had once electrified stages across the continent, magnetizing audiences that craved the fresh yet timeless essence she infused into ballet's classical heart. This trailblazing spirit was precisely what Aurora intended to bring to her current role. However, her focus wasn't solely invested in grandeur or accolades. Her philosophy centered on nurturing talent through authenticity, diligence, and resilience. Among those observing with piqued interest was Genevieve, wearing a composed expression tinged with introspection. The morning's revelation still resonated deeply, compelling her to witness firsthand Aurora's methods and approach. During a scheduled break, as dancers clustered into small groups discussing their rehearsals and suggestions from Aurora, Genevieve found a moment to study the woman behind the position, wondering about the tales woven into Aurora's illustrious journey up to this point. Gareth, along with a few senior instructors, approached Aurora during the break. They collectively shared with the dancers insights into Aurora's storied background, hoping to paint a broader picture beyond just her professional accolades. They highlighted her notable feat of revitalizing a struggling ensemble by fostering an inclusive environment where mutual reliance and respect fostered brilliance. Such an accomplishment had earned her respect not just from her peers but from every soul that danced under her mentorship. Her leadership was transformative because Aurora recognized that the foundation of any remarkable performance lay in the fundamental human truths she esteemed: collaboration, empathy, and the courage to transcend limitations in pursuit of passion. These principles were what genuinely elevated her endeavors beyond the merely technical into the realm of the unforgettable. As anticipation mounted around the studio, Aurora seamlessly re-entered the dance chamber with her signature grace, radiating assurance and warmth as she re-engaged with the ensemble. "Thank you for your patience and for indulging me with your focus today," Aurora began, her voice soft yet resonant. "Together, we're embarking on a path where I hope you'll find inspiration not just in the choreography but in each other." There was a pause as she let her words sink in. Aurora's vision was to turn the company into a beacon of creativity, channeling both personal stories and collective dreams into transcendent performances. She continued, offering a glimpse into her recent morning's appearance. "You may have noticed me arriving rather rain-soaked," she noted, her smile tinged with a mixture of humility and mirth, causing ripples of laughter across the room. Explaining the practical yet deliberate choice of arriving directly from a morning charity dance class in the rain, Aurora elucidated, "It was a day to feel grounded and authentic, and so it ended wonderfully against the storm." Her candidness humanized her new role, sparking admiration as the dancers came to view her less as an abstract figure of authority and more as a relatable leader imbued with genuine passion for the art they all cherished. As the session resumed, Aurora observed from the fringes, occasionally inserting a silent correction to a misaligned posture or a gentle gesture of encouragement, melding feedback into inspiration without overshadowing her dancer's individuality. Meanwhile, Genevieve remained mindful of the unfolding dynamic, reevaluating her preconceived judgments and acknowledging Aurora's distinct approach. This transition period unexpectedly offered Genevieve an unexpected opportunity for learning and growth as well, something she quietly received as she reconciled the earlier clash of personalities. The day pressed on smoothly, the rehearsal drawing closer to its conclusion, conversations increasingly laced with excitement for what lay ahead, an undertone of revitalization now quietly imbued within each member. Aurora's leadership, by the close of the day, had already begun fostering a deeper sense of belonging, unity, and eager anticipation for the future. Through genuine dialogue and mutual respect, she cultivated a fertile ground for innovation and excellence. As Aurora gathered her belongings at the night's end, stowing away her essentials with a practiced efficiency, she took a moment to absorb the tranquil energy within the now empty rehearsal hall. The day's achievements were many, and there was contentment within her knowing that the transformative journey she now stewarded would continue to blossom beyond the studio walls. With emerging trust and professional camaraderie, and an unspoken promise of greatness to come, the Ballet Academy shimmered under Aurora's visionary guidance, poised as ever for its places upon the world's stages. The next morning, the Academy was abuzz with an energy that was almost electric, subtly underpinned by the previous day's revelations. Dancers arrived early, their enthusiasm and eagerness palpable as they prepared to embrace the changes Aurora Quinn had delicately laid before them. The atmosphere was one of anticipation and renewed dedication, an embrace of both legacy and innovation mingling in finely orchestrated harmony. As Aurora entered the studio, her presence commanded respect without demanding it. There was an unspoken reverence for the fresh era she embodied. The elegant simplicity she brought was a testament to her ethos. The focus was always the art and the people behind it, never the superficial trappings of perception and assumption. Genevieve, meanwhile, was confronting the aftermath of her miscalculation. Her reprimand had been discreet but firm. Gareth and other senior administrators had emphasized the importance of unity and the values of humility within their community. Though it was a lesson learned with discomfort, Genevieve's professional pride and self-awareness allowed it to morph into an opportunity for reflection and growth. Her mandate going forward was clear: to lead with humility and support the new artistic vision without resentment. Consequently, Genevieve found herself in an unfamiliar place, having to mend bridges with Aurora as well as recalibrate her leadership style. This morning, as the studio buzzed with preparation, Genevieve approached Aurora with genuine intent. Spotting Aurora by the grand windows overseeing the sunlit courtyard, Genevieve paused to take a breath before walking over, finding the courage to extend her olive branch. "Aurora," she began, her tone softer than usual but tinged with determination, "I wanted to thank you for your understanding and patience. I recognized I didn't come off in the best light initially." Aurora turned to face her, her demeanor inviting and warm. "We all have our learning curves, Genevieve," she replied, her voice a blend of encouragement and wisdom. "The important thing is that we're moving forward together. Supporting one another is fundamental as we navigate this journey." Genevieve nodded, the sincerity in Aurora's acceptance lessening the remnants of discomfort she had carried since yesterday. "I want you to know that I'm dedicated to the vision you've brought here. Your straightforward approach is refreshing, and I'm eager to learn alongside everyone else." Harmony permeated their exchange, wiping away prior tensions and redefining their professional relationship. It was a restorative moment, allowing both women to move forward with grace and mutual respect. As rehearsals resumed, there was a palpable shift in the demeanor of the dancers. They seemed looser, more expressive, emboldened by the authenticity Aurora championed. Each demi-plie and grand jeté bore the signature of creative evolution, a practice session weaving their stories into a newly invigorated narrative. It wasn't long before Aurora's careful observations highlighted a dancer moving with unparalleled fluidity and emotion. The dancer, Laura, was delivering a passage with such poignant sensitivity that it caught the attention of many. Aurora saw not just likeness but potential for a principal role in the upcoming performance, a testament to observing beyond the surface to the artistry within. As the rehearsal progressed, Aurora's keen eye took note of the quiet determination in even the most reserved dancers. Every young artist, from the lead soloists to those reserved as alternates, responded under her patronage, their movements more confident and compelling. Later, the staff gathered again to discuss upcoming performances and other matters. Aurora presented proposals teeming with outside-the-box concepts, tied firmly to tradition yet soaring on innovation's wings. These ideas met nods of approval all around, occasional robust discussions further cementing collective dedication to her transformative vision. By early afternoon, Gareth caught Aurora in a happy but practical exchange. "Your approach seems to have captured their imagination, Aurora," Gareth said, his appreciation abundantly evident. "Thank you, Gareth," she replied, smiling as the sentiment imbued her words. "I want them to see it not as a shift that's daunting but as a realm of possibility. I believe we're building enthusiasm as much as skill." In response, Gareth chuckled with a hint of pride, acknowledging the waves of change Aurora had initiated. "Your reputation precedes you, but it's your approach that's truly endearing, Aurora." In the following days, the Academy thrived under Aurora's visionary leadership. Staff reflected this energy through tireless dedication, mirroring the enthusiasm underpinning each dancer. As rehearsals ticked onward, newfound excellence became rooted within the dancers, with innovative techniques marrying tradition with inspired breakthroughs. Genevieve, gradually realigning with the Academy's reinvigorated direction, began to support Aurora's initiatives actively. She relished being a part of and witnessing firsthand the resurgence, reconciling her past reservations by championing the changes unfolding around her. For Genevieve, redemption came when Aurora invited her to lead certain sessions based on nuances she'd conveyed so many times before. Trust fostered between them as they crafted and realized their collective dream for the company, roles enriched by mutual endorsement and shared creative goals. Then, one day after a sign-off session, Aurora made her rounds through the studio, the powerful testament of her physical presence and unspoken reminder of the remarkable revolution taking place. As she reached the end, she and Genevieve exchanged a knowing glance across the mirrored wall, an expression acknowledging hard-earned growth and vindication. Finally, the moment arrived when rehearsals wound down for the night. The studio's shadows lengthened as evening settled outside the vast windows, capturing the spirited resolve of the dancers. Aurora remained a silent sentinel at the rear, her gaze steady, satisfied with the day's triumphant cadence. As she departed the rehearsal hall, overlooking the now silent dance floor that was a bustling hive mere hours earlier, Aurora's heart soared with a rare sense of fulfillment. The Academy, phoenix-like, was rising under her keen senses and unwavering belief. With each step she took through the echoing corridors, Aurora Quinn, in full command of her environment, made it clear that unlike before, she would not only shepherd this renewed artistic realm but would elevate those around her into echoes of shared success. And thus, through the grand arches and marble foyers, the future seemed brighter, a future where beauty, dedication, and creativity danced upon the stage heartily, and where Aurora led with unwavering grace, and the Academy poised to meet its own radiant destiny anew.